Built their community centers and churches on the backs of volunteers making pierogies.
So Ukrainians here in the United States, specifically my community here in New York, is very worried when they hear things like President Trump says, "God bless Russia and Ukraine."
Ever since there's been news and changes in the policy towards the Russia-Ukraine war, we've been really worried because we care about the consequences of this war, and we want to make sure that the internationally recognized borders of Ukraine are respected. We want to make sure that the interests of the free democratic world are also maintained. So that really matters to all of us, and we're worried to see the policy change.
There's a lot of policy changes, not only in the last 24 hours, but since the inauguration. Since the very first day of the inauguration, we've had to deal with the halting of aid to Ukraine. That's primarily the humanitarian aid. We also had one day where military aid was stopped. We know that that's back on, but now the biggest concerns are the language coming out of the White House, specifically the newly installed defense secretary. So his conversation with the contact group in Europe, the first time that the United States is not leading, so it's not America first now, and those remarks that as part of any deal, the United States does not see NATO membership for Ukraine. That does not mean that they're against NATO membership, but in their mind, they don't want to have that as part of a discussion. We'll see if that changes. But we're also worried about the comments made by President Trump on social media today regarding a conversation he had first with President Putin, which the United States has not had direct conversation with before this, during the Biden term, and then as well as a conversation he had with President Zelensky. And President Zelensky's position has been the same. He put out a statement after that we're waiting for a partnership with the United States. They're willing to do a partnership, whether that's those rare earth minerals or other kind of partnership. But it's really going to be the other side that's going to have to come to the table. And up to this point, we have not had any kind of feedback from Russia that they're willing to deal.
I hope that we can embrace support for Ukraine in the United States. We can ensure that there is understanding, that the war in Ukraine has a meaning not only for Ukrainians and for our future, but also for the future of the free and democratic world. If there is a precedent that another country can invade a sovereign, independent European state, occupy its land, kill tens of thousands of its people, conduct immense war crimes, crimes against humanity, and there is no consequences, there's no repercussions, then this sets a dangerous precedent across the world. We have a very long path ahead of us. We want to have a sovereign and prosperous Ukraine. We want to make sure that our country has a future, and that future can be easily compromised if we go towards Russia's demands. So we're worried about that, and we want to make sure that the United States and those who make decisions, they understand that this is not just about the current, the today, but it's also about tomorrow. It's about the future, and our future is at stake here.